Hey everyone, ChronoPinoX here once again. I do apologize for my look. I may look greasy right now just because of the fact that this is a completely unplanned video that I'm doing here. I want to quickly talk about something that's very important in the video game space right now, and that is Nintendo's current direction with going to war against companies that do better than them. In their latest development, we have Nintendo creating a patent where if you summon a character that fights for you or with you, you can get potentially sued by Nintendo. All because they created a patent that basically says if any kind of scenario these functionalities are available, Nintendo can sue you because they now own the patent to it. And this sets a dangerous precedence because Nintendo now has a weapon that they can use against any company they dislike. If you're not buddy-buddy with Nintendo in any way, shape, or form, and you do better than them, they can weaponize that patent against you. And that is very dangerous, because it kills creativity for a start, and there's a lot of games out there already that do have that kind of functionality. So will Nintendo go after them as well? Do they have the money for it? Possibly. Basically, this is all because Palworld was created to refresh the Pokemon-like genre, and Palworld was more successful in doing that. Sorry, there's something in my mouth. Palworld was more successful in doing that compared to Nintendo's latest games. If Nintendo just made good Pokemon games moving forward, we wouldn't have these kinds of problems. And if they actually let something like Palworld's developers work with them, maybe they could have had a Palworld-like experience with the Pokemon series. This is literally Nintendo doing the bare minimum to develop a game, but doing the absolute maximum to just monetize by suing other companies. That's what they're doing right now. This is really, really dangerous. I can't stress that enough. Now, the main reason I made this video to begin with is simply because I saw this and I thought, well, there's a lot of games that already have these functionalities. You can take a look at something like Shin Megami Tensei and the Persona series by Atlus and Sega. Boom! Those characters will summon demons to fight with them. That's basically Pokemon, but in demon form. You also have Monster Hunter Stories where you have the monsters as monsties for the Monster Hunter series. Again, it's like Pokemon. But the real difference here is because those companies, Atlus, Sega, and Capcom, are buddies with Nintendo, they will not get hit by Nintendo's lawyers or the Nintendo ninjas, and they will not get the sword, unlike something like Palworld, who literally challenged Nintendo by showing them that there is a better way to make a Pokemon game. So, because of the fact that Nintendo hated the company that made Palworld, because Palworld is a better game than their latest Pokemon games, that just shows you that Nintendo will do everything they can to stop those developers instead of making a better game. They will do everything but make a good game. Which is really weird because other parts of Nintendo, other games in Nintendo are actually doing all right to some extent. I mean, I enjoy the Mario games, I enjoy the Zelda games, so what is wrong with Pokemon? Why is it that Pokemon is the only IP by Nintendo that seems to suffer a lot? It is their biggest IP as well. So why couldn't Nintendo make a good Pokemon game? They've already been shown that it can be done, so why doesn't Nintendo do it? They already have the Switch 2, a powerful enough console to do it on. I don't get it. They will literally do everything but develop a good game for the Pokemon series. Why are they milking this cow so much, even though it's bone dry, yet they won't feed it so that it becomes healthy again, so that they can milk it again and get more money? It's weird. It's really weird. I don't get Nintendo's thinking at all. Ever since Nintendo kind of like went past the 2015s, it just became such a weird scenario for them. Like, don't get me wrong, Nintendo in the past still had a lot of problems, but never to the extent of this, where they're using patents as a weapon against different companies just because they hate them so much because those companies made better games than they did. Again, if Nintendo made better games, they will not have this problem. They literally have the resource to make these patents and to sue other companies, but apparently they do not have the resources to make a good Pokemon game. Think about that for a moment. Now, the main reason that this patent is so dangerous, at least according to everyone, is because of how broad it is. Even though Nintendo has a set amount of commands in order for them to have their summoning mechanic work, if at any point in time you trigger their broad list of their patent, then you're pretty much grounds for a lawsuit by Nintendo. So let's take a look at this list right here, provided to us by Nintendo Life. As you can see right here, these are their list. All 6 of these can be triggered by any game that has a summoning mechanic. In fact, I'm going to show you that as of right now. I have Guild Wars 2 right here, which is a game developed by ArenaNet and published by NCSoft. This right here is a summon in a technical sense, my pet for my ranger. So basically I'm on PC. I've already crossed the first one because it's also virtual space, so 1 and 2. If I'm able to summon this creature like so it's going into a space that has no other character on it, I've already crossed 3 or 4 things right there. And the combat side of things, which would be 5 and 6, there you go. I've pretty much shown that this game infringes on Nintendo's patent because it has a summonable creature. If at any point in time, ArenaNet or NCSoft has any games that Nintendo dislikes, or for some weird reason, Nintendo dislikes Guild Wars 2, they could sue those companies for crossing their patent. That's how bad this thing is. I'm not surprised at all that Nintendo did this because they would do anything but develop a good game. But the fact that no other company challenged this in any way, shape, or form to prevent Nintendo from doing this is really surprising because there's a lot of games out there with these kinds of functionalities from Square Enix games, Capcom, Sega, Atlus, Ubisoft. There's loads of games with a summonable mechanic in some way, shape, or form. So that's the reason why if at any point in time Nintendo gets crossed with any of these companies and cuts ties with them, they could do what they did with Palworld and sue them because they now own the patent to summoning a sub-character or an NPC to be your ally. Now at this moment in time, this is only between Nintendo and the creators of Palworld, which is Pocket Pair. However, if Nintendo finally decides to go full scorched earth on everyone and say no one can have summoning mechanics anymore, then they can actually do that because the summoning mechanic patent, the entire broadness of it, is now owned by Nintendo. So anyone who has even a modicum of summoning in their game would be grounds for lawsuit by Nintendo because they're infringing on Nintendo's property. That's how dangerous this is because no matter what kind of summoning mechanic you have, how important or not important it is, you're still infringing on Nintendo's property. So yeah, that's the latest news regarding Nintendo and their battle against Palworld, and now it's affecting a lot of video game companies out there because Nintendo decided to create a patent for the most basic game function that a lot of games have at this moment in time. Do let me know your thoughts and opinions regarding this entire scenario in the comments below. I personally think it's ridiculous, but you may have a different opinion, so do let us know in the comments below your thoughts once again regarding this entire scenario. And as always, if you enjoyed these videos, please consider hitting the like on the video itself, leaving a comment down below, and subscribing to the channel so you can go ahead and catch up on any other content that I might be doing in future. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Onward and upward.